What's going on, everyone? Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal. I was thinking about something earlier for estimates. I gave an estimate later on after that one I originally talked about in the other video. She's going to be moving in a couple of weeks, and she already has the moving company all set up. They have the dates, everything's figured out, and she wants me to get rid of some stuff that's going to be left behind. So she wants me to come after the movers go in case they decide to leave anything else behind as well. So I actually said, like, that's a better idea, because then you don't get rid of stuff and the movers come and you're like, oh shoot, I should have got rid of this thing. So it's actually a better idea. But I did mention to her, because I gave her a price, and there was a couple of bigger pieces upstairs, and I told her, like, in my mind, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to bring my helper with me, because these are wood stairs and these are pretty good sized pieces, so I'm gonna need help more for concern of property damage. And I quoted her, and she said, could you do any better on the price? Now, I don't mind this question, okay? It depends on what the situation is. Sometimes I work with people. I will usually work with people in a way where I'm not screwing myself over, so I'm not making it harder for myself for less money. I will instead try to change the circumstances to better my favor. So I told her, I said, I'll tell you what, while the moving company is here, have them bring those pieces downstairs. They don't have to go in the garage. Just get them downstairs, because it's going to make my time a lot faster. And then I knocked off a discount for her, and she said, oh, that's perfect. So I told her, as long as those guys come here and they bring the things downstairs, just tell them, hey, we're not moving this, but if you guys could just bring it all downstairs, and just leave it right here, that's fine. We have somebody coming to pick it up after. That's what I told her to tell them, because I've done that hundreds of times as a mover. And usually it's a piece that, like, none of us wants to actually touch, but they'll usually give you like an extra 10, 20 bucks, and it takes you like 30 seconds. So I told her to tell the movers that, just say, hey, we're bringing this stuff downstairs, but we're not actually going to move it, so you don't have to wrap it. But obviously that would save me having to bring my helper now, which saves me money on the job. So I'm not just saying, oh, yeah, let's do this price, and I'm still doing the same amount of work. I still have to bring my helper. That doesn't make sense. That's a stupid discount. But if I just made that job not only easier for me and less time consuming, plus it takes away the burden of causing stair damage, but now I also save money by not needing my helper anymore, which could easily save me 60 to 100 bucks. So that's a way I have found to be helpful in estimates with people who are trying to bargain pricing a little bit. If I was going to pick up a fridge on the first floor and I'm like, hey, it's going to be $149, and they're like, oh, can you do a little better? I'm like, no, not really. It's a volume, it's fridge, there's a water line, it's always going to be an issue. It's tight on the doors, there's always a concern for, damage to the door because it's a tight fit. It's not the lightest thing in the world depending on the size fridge. It's $149. But yeah, I found that to be helpful to, like, when you're giving estimates, try to find a way you can make it easier for you. So, for example, if we're going to pick up a bunch of big stuff, maybe someone's looking to move out soon and they're just kind of decluttering a little bit before they go. Let's say they want me to take a bunch of small stuff, a bunch of trash bags, and the big items too, and I give them, let's say I tell them it's going to be 500 bucks, and they say, oh, it's a little high, like, I got the moving expenses coming up, can you do better? I say, I'll tell you what, you're going to be here for a couple more weeks, you're going to have a couple of trash days ahead of you. I'll take all the big furniture, you throw away all those little things a little bit at a time, and we'll do it for $375, 400 or whatever. Like, obviously taking away that small stuff isn't a massive difference on my end, cubic footage wise, unless it's a lot of stuff, but it is a little bit less to deal with, it's a little bit less to pack, and it's a little bit less time I have to spend on the job. And it's making the client happy without completely just evading my personal, reasons. So I like to do stuff like that. I understand junk removal is expensive, and a lot of people are probably going to say, like, oh, if they don't like the price, move on. I get that, but I also get the fact that you're paying me $200 to remove a couch you probably paid $200 for a couple years ago. Like, nobody wants to pay to get rid of shit that they don't have value for anymore. But I do it within reason. Like, you have to do it in a way where it's making my life easier. Not, oh, I'm just going to do it because you asked. Nah, fuck you. Like, I don't go to your impact window company and say, oh, you want to charge me $700 for this window? What about $400? How about that? And they're like, no. So you can't always negotiate services, but I think you can work within reason. Like if I was hiring an impact window and they're going to be, painting up the trim marks that they leave after the window installation, if I say, hey, if you don't have to worry about that and I'll take care of that, how much more can you give me off? To me, that's a fair deal, because now you're pulling away parts of their labor. It's an exchange. Like, I'm taking up your time so you can give me more of a discount. I'm not just saying, hey, give me this discount just because, So just a tip, play around with it. I know a lot of people do the big furniture versus the small stuff ordeal, but just in case, for that move out, I've done that before with the moving. Like when I was a mover, and I've done that in junk removal. There was this one person, they had this huge armoire upstairs, and they had this big dresser. I brought the dresser down by myself, and I shit you not, I was nervous the whole time, because not so much like the dresser was heavy and it was big. I just ran a ratchet strap around it, but the staircase was kind of slippery each step I took. It was wood, but it had like an oil residue on it, so every time I stepped, I could almost feel my foot shifting just ever so slightly, which is nerve-wracking because I have a heavy-ass dresser. I'm going down, a wood stairs with. I'm being careful with it. And it made me nervous because, you can't mix heavy and slippery together. It doesn't work out. So, I remember, I told the guy, I was like, hey, I can grab this dresser right now, because I was already there doing, a move for them. I was like, I'll grab the dresser right now. I'll come back for the armoire, because I don't have anybody here with me. I came here to deliver something for you. I can't grab this right now. And I told them to just leave, have the movers drop it off. So, oh boy, everyone's waiting for me. I'm only a few minutes late. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hopefully that tip helps if you're ever in that situation. Never just do it just to do it, though. Always make sure it makes sense to you. It needs to be a give and get situation, or get and give. I don't know that expression, but try it out.